I'm back. Yes, I know it's been a long, long time. I had a goal to put one of these out every week. Hopefully, sometimes multiple in a week. And I haven't come through. Just a simple fact as that. Nothing really to have an excuse for or anything like that. It just, life happens. Life happens, and it happens fast sometimes, and yeah, I mean, it's been over a month, I think, since I've posted a video or an episode of these, and I know it's probably hurt the podcast in general, but I didn't want to just put out information or something that I wasn't happy with. I put out the last episode, the quick trip, which was cool. I probably could have done a couple more of those. I've had chances of doing them since, but just haven't. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much to say other than I just have dropped the ball. 2 weeks ago, I also had strep throat, so that was great. It's like my fourth time having it. So that was wonderful, but yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't have any excuse. I really don't. I talked about how this is going to be like my baby. I was going to focus so much on this as much as I could, and scheduling changed with my kids and their schooling, and now I'm doing Zoom with them during the day, on the days that I have them, and it's tough because we're on the Zoom the whole time I'm with them pretty much, but I still could have found time to put out an episode. But again, I didn't want to put out an episode of just nonsense. I didn't have much to talk about. I was going through some stuff myself, but it wasn't anything that I haven't talked about on here before. It's just been not a priority for me. But I started to talk to people about this, and people have asked me how the podcast has been going, and I've had to say I haven't been doing it, which it sucks because I've dropped the ball. Like I said, I wanted to be doing these every week, and I could have been still putting out episodes and still putting out good content, but I just haven't, and it's fine. But a couple updates I can give you guys is, I know I've talked about putting guests on these episodes. I've been working on it. It's tough. People's schedules are pretty hectic too. I have one friend who's really interested, and I just need to coordinate with him. He's got a great story. He's a great dude, good friend of mine, and I think he'd have a lot of really interesting things to talk about on here. So I got to figure out how we're going to get him on here. Hopefully we can do maybe a quick trip with him, and maybe a traveling one with him too. He's a good dude. I think you guys will really enjoy him. But as far as myself, like I said, I had strep 2 weeks ago, which was wonderful, and I'm saying that 100% sarcastically. Obviously the listeners are not really able to see the sarcasm on my face, but I don't even know how I got it. I really don't. I had a rough weekend that weekend, and I think it might have been because of the sleep, the lack of sleep, and the quality of sleep. And I might have just been wearing myself out, and my immune system may have just been really shot, and it got me. And it hit me hard. It hit me really hard. I don't get sick often, really, and when I do, it puts me out. I dealt with the pain of the throat. Obviously, I've had it before. I know what it feels like. It's the worst. You can't even swallow saliva, let alone food, so you're not able to eat. You can't even sleep properly because you can't swallow and be comfortable. And then, I had a headache that pretty much lasted from Sunday to Thursday, and it was pretty consistent. I'd had moments of, clarity in my head, and where if I sat up or got up, I didn't have a head rush and throbbing pain, but I mean, most of the time that's what it was. I couldn't even get out of bed and go to the bathroom without my brain literally feeling like it was going to explode. But The fever was probably the worst part because I couldn't sleep the first 2 or 3 nights because you're just burning. Finally, I got some antibiotics and it helped pretty quickly. But, the effects still were killing me because, if you don't know, antibiotics, they're not the best things to take. Like, yeah, they attack your cells and help heal you, but they're wearing you out too. So I pretty much took an entire week off of training, working out, and training clients. I had like one day where I did train clients just because I felt okay, but then it came back and I had to take the rest of the week off. I didn't get to see my kids that whole week, which was the worst. Like, that made me more angry than anything. But, I couldn't risk getting them sick. It's just wasn't an option at all. And I needed to heal. I needed to get better. So I completely just stayed in my room and, withered away. I joke and I told a lot of my friends and my clients even that, like, I think I lost like 13 pounds in 4 days. And it wasn't good weight. It wasn't like a detox or anything like that. It was like I lost muscle. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. It was horrible. And, I've had it before, like I said, and it's hit me hard every time. And I would much rather get anything else but strep. Strep is probably the worst pain I've ever felt from an illness. It's like from a virus. And I told you guys I've had COVID before, and it wasn't that bad. I mean, it was bad, but it wasn't like strep. Strep is by far the worst. I would rather have COVID again than have strep, 100%. But, other than that, I have just been working. I've been dealing with injuries too. I'm pretty sure I have some structural damage in my knees. For sure my left knee I'm guessing partially torn ligaments. I've torn ligaments in both knees before and I know how it feels, and it's not as bad, but it's pretty bad. But it is what it is. I'm working through it as best as I can. You guys know I love to run, and I haven't been able to run like I used to, and that's kind of been another thing too. I think I've been really disheartened by it, and it's like the wind got taken out of my sails. I was on such a good path and like great routine when it came to running, and like everything was just flowing, and to just have it kind of get cut to nothing, it was tough. Like, I was running 150 plus miles a month, and now I barely am at like 50 this month, and it's been tough. And last month, I think I only had like 125 maybe, which is not bad, but it's not what I was used to. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I really need to do anything I can to get back to where I was, because it really does help me mentally and physically, obviously, but mentally more than anything. I just feel much better mentally, and I just feel clear-headed, and I feel like my thought processes are much more in line than they are without it, because it's like meditation. Like I've told you guys, I meditate while I run, and it's a weird thing to say because I used to hate running, but now it's part of my life, and it really does help. So I'm trying to figure that out every day, taking it little by little. Still trying to work out, obviously, too, and trying to manage injuries around that as well. It's just been tough. It's been really tough. And it's funny because like I haven't even been able to work out with my best friends who I used to work out with every day. One of them's been dealing with injuries himself, and then the other one, his work schedule changed, and we work out every so often together, but not like we used to, and it's tough. So going from training with like your two closest friends every day to not training with anybody and then having injuries on top of that, it's tough. It's tough. And I know some people are like, oh, well, it's not that big of a deal. But it is for me. It's my life. This is like who I am. And it's just been really hard, but taking it in stride every day. So I'm sorry if you can hear my air conditioner. It's so loud, but it's getting hot over here now. I need it. But the purpose of this video was mainly to talk about a topic that I think I've wanted to talk about before, but I just didn't know how to really put it into words. And it just comes from experiences that I've had recently with friends, talking with clients about their life, and having this conversation over and over again, which I've been having that I haven't realized I've been having until I kind of sat down and thought about it, and then thought about like, what was I going to talk about on the next episode? And it came to my mind. It was the topic of settling. And it could be settling when it comes to a relationship. It could be settling when it comes to the job you're in. It could be settling when it comes to the goals that you have in mind, whether it be in the gym or whether it be financially, anything it may be, settling in general. For me, the idea of settling for anything less than what I had hoped for or anything short of what I feel like I require. And we all require our own necessities that make us whole, that make us feel like we've reached the goal in mind. And recently I've talked to friends and family that have said, I'm okay with where I'm at. Or, my relationship is at a standstill, but, things are okay. And yeah, sometimes in a relationship it's okay to be at a standstill. But if you're unsure about who you're with, mind you, I'm not talking about every relationship. I know some relationships that are amazing. I love seeing these people together because they are meant to be together. I'm talking about the other percentage of the population that are in relationships or were in relationships or got out or are thinking about getting in relationships and don't know. And it all ties together. Let's just say you're trying to get into a relationship and you're talking to someone and you're vibing. You both enjoy each other's company. You both are, flowing together. There's just something wrong. Some boxes aren't checked. Some boxes just aren't being filled by this person. Or you can tell you're not filling their boxes. Are you capable of being okay with settling for that and just thinking, no, I've had a rough patch, I've been single for a long time, yada yada, whatever the case may be. You could say I'm okay with that. Like I'm happy with the connection I have with this person, and I'm okay with trying it out with this person. I'm okay with giving this relationship a shot. Wouldn't you rather be 100% sure, and wouldn't you rather know 100% that what you're getting yourself into isn't going to be settling for anything less than what you desire? Like if this person, let's say, checks the boxes of attractive, you're attracted to this person. Let's say they have the same hobbies. You guys like to go to the gym, or you guys like to read books, and you guys like to adventure, or you guys like to be outdoorsy together. That's great. But then they have certain qualities or tendencies or characteristics that you don't agree with. Beliefs, anything it may be. Is that something you're willing to settle for? Or are you willing to take time and maybe saying, no, I'm not going to jump into this right now. I am actually going to, weigh my options, and maybe something else will come up. Maybe I will find the person that checks all the boxes and not just 75 to 80% of them. They will check all of them. Because in my opinion, granted, I'm not speaking for the masses. I'm totally talking from my own perspective, and I can only speak from my perspective. I'm sure plenty of other people are going to have their own opinions, and that's more than fine. I welcome those other opinions. But for me, it's more the sense that, like, if you're going to be with someone that you are going to invest time in and effort and energy, why would you waste any bit of that on someone that you may feel like you're settling for, when there's the possibility of something better? That's just my perspective. Now, if you are in a relationship that at the point that you're at now, you feel like, I can't see myself with this person long term. I thought I could when we started. Things transpired, people change, people grow over time, and I cannot see myself with this person anymore. I can't see myself ending up and spending my life with this person. But I don't know what to do, because I've invested time and I've invested energy. What do I do? Again, if you're not ready, capable of accepting that you're going to spend your life with this person because you're at this point in the relationship, Are you ready to settle? Are you ready to settle for what that person offers you, even though you're not 100% satisfied? I don't know if I could do that. You know, I've had conversations with people about relationships where I've told them, I haven't been in a long-term relationship. I just haven't. But that's because for me, like, if I get into a relationship, I don't know. I've had a lot of instances in my life where I've seen a lot of dysfunction when it comes to relationships, when it comes to family, friends, anything it may be. So when I see a red flag, I run almost. And I wouldn't say I run, I back out. Because I don't want to waste my energy, I don't want to waste my time. And I just feel like I don't want to waste this person's time either, so why even bother? So I back out. And I either break it off or they break it off because of my disassociative, connection. But I also think to myself, like, wouldn't you rather have me, not waste your time anymore? Granted, I could say, like, hey, this isn't working out anymore. And I do most of the time. I'm just like, I'm not feeling it anymore. But sometimes it's not always accepted by the person. And I get that. But I'm not willing to settle. I'm not. And I've told you guys before, I'm okay with being by myself. I am. I've been by myself for the longest time. But when it comes to, your significant other, there should be no such thing as settling, especially if it's someone who you are going to spend your life with. Depending on how old you are, how many years you have left, who knows? But are you willing to spend the rest of that time with this person if you're not 100% happy or satisfied? I don't know if I could say I could. I don't know if I could say that I'm willing to just kind of put my differences aside and just be with this person because it's comfortable. Comfortability isn't something that I'm privy to. I don't feel comfortable in being in a comfortable position, you know what I mean? I like knowing that I'm 100% satisfied. I know it's almost like you're staying in a hotel. You're comfortable, right? It's nice. It's chill. It's a good environment. You don't got to worry about much. But it's not your home. It's not where you belong. You're not satisfied. Because it's not where you're supposed to be. It's kind of how I think about it. This person you could be with could be the hotel room. It's comfortable being with this person. Feels good. It's nice. I enjoy it. But is it somewhere that I can stay the rest of my life? Is it somewhere that I can spend the rest of my days at or with? I couldn't. I love my bed. I love my home. Hotels are great, but they're not where you're supposed to be. They're not home. They're temporary. And that's what relationships are. Oh, by the way, I'm blonde now. Sorry for the hair. I've been wearing a hat all day, but yeah, I'm blonde. It's gonna stay too, so be ready for that. Yeah, if I'm with a person and I just feel like this is comfortable, like I'm good with what it is, it's like, I don't know. I could wait it out, see how it feels, but if I'm just not ready and not willing to invest any more time, I'm out. I'll check out of that hotel room real quick and go back home. And home can also be joining the home with someone else or joining someone else's home with you, but it's also a home. It's not a hotel room where you're just comfortable. You want to be in this place. You're moving yourself into this space that you're going to spend your time in now, and you're doing it because you want to. No one's forcing you to be there. No one should force you to be there. Definitely not in a relationship. But I can't settle. It's just not in my wheelhouse to be like that. And that goes with anything. with work, for me, I love being busy. I do. I love having a full schedule. I love having a bunch of clients at once. Like, it's so much fun. Like, if you've ever trained with me, anybody who listens to this, if you've trained with me at all, I don't even know if my clients listen to this. But if you have, I like to train in groups. I like to train with a lot of people at once, back to back to back to back, just bam, 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 just getting them all in, working them out all at the same time, getting people put in when other people are leaving and stuff like that. And I love that because it makes me work. It makes me, tighten my shoelaces and, fasten my belt. It makes me uncomfortable because I'm working so hard. I like that. I perform so well off that. When I'm not as busy, and let's say I have only a couple clients and my time just feels like it's not being used, I am not happy. I can't settle for that. Like, yeah, my bills are getting paid, things are taken care of, but it's not satisfying to me. It's not where I want to be. It's not what I want to be doing. I can be doing more. I want to be doing more. And it doesn't have to be about the monetary, aspect of being busier. It just has to be with what it does for me emotionally and mentally. And even physically. I like being useful. I like my mind, body, and spirit being used for good. So even when I'm not working, I like giving people information. I like helping my friends out whenever they need. And I mean that as friends. I know we've talked about giving out free information to people who are just going to waste your time. I give out information to people that I know aren't going to, just take information that I'm giving and just throw it out the way, or throw it out the window. I know they're going to actually utilize what I say and put it into practice. And if they're friends, like, I know that it's going to be put to good use. But I don't know. Even monetary, I'm very frugal when it comes to money. Anybody can tell you that. I'm not a big spender. I don't travel a lot, which I wish I could. And I know there's so much cliche around, spending money and saving money. It's like you're not going to be able to take this money to the grave. But I always just grew up being like very cautious with how I spend my money or how much money I have and such. So like when it comes to settling for monetary purposes, like I can't be happy with any amount of money I'm making or have. Like I always want to be able to say like I'm comfortable, or I don't want to be able to say I'm comfortable. I want to be able to say that I'm good at all points. Like I never have a worry. I never have a doubt. I never have to, freak out when it comes to that type of thing. I just... it's funny that we're going to talk about this now, but like when it comes to investing, I've had to invest money recently because I just feel like my money sitting is not being useful. Again, it's part of being useful, part of being who I am. And, it's been such a big topic over the past few weeks and even months, like referring to cryptocurrency. And I'm not going to get into it right now. If you guys want me to get into it, I can talk about it in another episode. But right now, I'm just going to go into the fact that, like, I put money that I knew I had that I was just been sitting on. I put it into cryptocurrency because I know it's a long game. It's an investment. You're not going to see immediate return right away because that's not how it works. Some people want to see immediate return and then cash out and they think, oh, I'm going to make it big. But that's not really how it works. So I put in a bunch of money, or any money that I did have, I invested. I can't really say a bunch because any money I usually have extra is going towards my kiddos, bills, especially helping my mom out as much as I can. But I've always made sure that I have something to be tucked away for emergencies, like a savings. And my savings has always been for emergencies in case, anything happens. If we have a water heater crack and has to get fixed, like, okay, that's what it's there for. But if it's just sitting there, I'd rather be invested and, hopefully be able to take care of my kids later on. And that's just part of the reason why I did it. And, I invested a little bit of money and it did okay from the beginning. It didn't do anything wild. And then for a bit it jumped because a lot of things were happening and it jumped a lot and people were going excited. And I could have pulled it out and been happy to just sit on it from then, but I wasn't. I know the game a little bit. And it dropped. It dropped a lot across the board. All cryptocurrency dropped. People freaked out. I didn't really check it. I mean, I knew it dropped just because of the news, but I didn't check it. I knew I was okay because, again, it's like I know what I was getting myself into, and I know that's part of being, satisfied. Is like I know what's coming, and I know it may seem kind of scary right now, but it's going to be okay at the end of the day. But I didn't want it to just be the continuous, like, oh, it's just there sitting there in case of whatever. I'd rather have it be like it's sitting there, but it's also making some money, even if it's a couple dollars here and there. That couple dollars here and there could go towards something that I needed later on, or my kids needed later on. Who knows? And even with like what I do in my free time, you guys know I started this podcast because I wanted to grow more. I wanted to flourish a little bit, and I wanted to put out information that I knew I could put out because of my life experience and things that I've been through. So I was unhappy with what I was doing in my free time, so I started this. I started this podcast to be able to say that like I'm being useful, and my time is being useful, and I'm just always trying to better myself, if that makes sense. I'm always trying to expand my repertoire. I like being a Swiss Army knife. I like having a lot of abilities, if I could call it an ability. But I guess so, because I mean I've asked people to be a guest on the podcast before, and they get scared because it's like talking in front of a camera to people that you may not even know who's watching. It's kind of nerve-wracking. It is. And people don't really want to open up. And I get it. It's scary to open up and to talk about things that are very intimate to you and are important to you. But it's not scary to me. Like, that's one thing I don't fear, is like public speaking or what other people think, like people's opinions. And I've talked about that before. Like, I don't fear that. No man can really scare me. No human, I should say, can put fear in my heart. So anybody's opinion doesn't really affect me like that. It just doesn't. And I can genuinely say, like, if anybody has anything negative to say about me, I can pretty much roll with it. And, I can use the criticism to help me grow. Definitely not going to let me, or it's not going to shut me down. I can tell you that much right now. As much as you can try, like, I guarantee you, no one can beat me up mentally or verbally as bad as I could beat myself up. I'll tell you that much right now. I've done a lot worse to myself than anybody else can. And it sucks, people don't like to hear that. Like, self-deprecation is not healthy, but it's just part of who I am. It's actually helped me a lot because it's like, no one can beat me but me. And that's a fact. Like, I don't care what anybody says. No one can beat me but me. Mentally and emotionally. Physically, yeah, there's always going to be someone stronger than me. Great. Good for you. That's awesome. Kudos to you. But beating me physically is not going to tear me down emotionally. It's not going to tear me down in my spirit. No one can do that. They just can't. I can't really be broken. I've been through enough stuff in my life to be able to say no one can really break me to that point. So when it comes to settling and being in a situation where I feel like I'm just going to be okay with it, that's part of it. I'm not easily broken, so like I want to be able to be stronger, and I have a stronger will and a stronger mentality than that to continuously get better and continuously grow. I feel like if you are settling for anything, your will is broken already because you're just accepting what's given to you. And that's not me. It's not. And you may not agree if you think settling is, showing a chink in your armor. But for me, that's what it is. It shows that you accepted defeat in that moment or in that situation. I can't do that. I can only go after victory. I only want to succeed at all points. Any facet of life, I want to succeed. And I can't do that if I settle. because that means I'm letting everybody win, or I'm letting the situation win. Can't. That's not me. It's simply not me. So challenging myself in situations, or putting myself in a situation that may throw my life for a loop, it happens. It's not going to scare me. It's not going to deter me from doing that until I'm satisfied, until I'm happy. In relationships, it's not going to deter me from continuously looking for a companion if I need to, or if I want to, I should say. I don't need anybody. I don't need anybody there for me. I would love someone to be there for me. I would love for a companion to be there with me every day. But it's not a necessity. It's a desire. And I can easily say I won't settle for someone to just take that role just because. I want someone to have that role because it's what I'm so passionate about, and this person's passionate about me. And then we're good. We will be happy, I promise, because I won't ever settle for my efforts in a relationship. That's just not who I am. I don't get comfortable in a relationship. I like always pushing the envelope and how I can express myself and make the other person feel better about themselves. And I always want to see people grow around me. And if I'm with someone, especially my significant other, I want to see them grow. I want to see them flourish. You know, my motto is always growing and glowing. That's what it's all about. And if you're not doing that, I feel like you're settling. That just comes down to it. If you're not willing to grow, you're gonna just settle for what your current situation is, and you will never glow. The light will stay the same. You will never get brighter. You'll never shine as bright as you possibly can. And I want everybody to shine bright. I want everybody around me to shine as bright as they possibly can, because everybody around me, if you're in my life, I've seen good things in you, and I've seen positive parts of your life that you may not even see in yourself, but I can see it, and I want you to recognize it, and I want you to see that part of your life flourish. Like, that's awesome. But you know, if that's something that you're afraid of, take a step back and wonder why. Wonder why you're settling for this. Wonder why you're settling for said situation and said feelings. Are you accepting defeat? Are you accepting with what's coming? Are you afraid of what could come? Are you afraid of still looking and still working to get to where you want to be? To get to the goal you've been trying to achieve? Like, your time is gonna still be there. If you're willing to put it in, it'll all be worth it. But if you're afraid of wasting your time trying to continuously grow or continuously find the right situation, I can't help you with that. That's got to come from within. That's got to come from within you to be able to say, I want to see more improvement. I want to see change. I want to be happy. I want to grow. I want to be this. I want to be that. Like, don't be content in any situation. Be happy. Be elated. Be ecstatic for anything you're doing. If you're with someone, would you rather be able to say, like, this is the love of my life? Not just, this is my girlfriend. Or if you're married, this is my husband. This is my wife. You want to be able to say, I love this person more than anything. They're my person. That's the kind of love I want. Shoot, I want someone to say that about me. But I don't want the person I end up with to settle either. So anybody I've ever been with, or I'm going to be with, or that I'm with now in any situation, I want them to say that they're not settling for me. If they feel like there's something better out there, then go get it. I promise you it won't hurt me. It won't, because if you're telling me you feel like there's better for you out there, there probably is, then I didn't meet your requirements. You know, going back to, you know, previous relationships that I've had, you know, I've always thought, like, if someone ever said that to me, this was before, if someone ever said, like, I deserve better or anything like that, I would always be like, well, you're not giving me a chance, or I can be better. It's like, but you had the chance. You had the opportunity to show that you were that person, or you were better, and you didn't execute. And you have to be, I wasn't accepting of that. And you have to be accepting of that because that's that person's feelings. You know, it's part of the process. If they would have taken you into their life again, that would have been them settling. If the person or people that ever said that to me, if I ended up with them, they would have been settling. And eventually something may have come from that wouldn't have ended well. So in reality, it's probably a good thing that it happened. It's probably a good thing that situations didn't work out the way I had anticipated or the way I had hoped. Seemed horrible in the moment, but we all grow. And we all glow eventually if we're willing to try and if we're willing to go after it. And I have been. I've been wanting that. I've been chasing that. I've been hopeful of that. And I'm still on that road. You know, I'm still on that road to this day. Every single day I'm trying. Every single day I'm trying to get better. And I'm trying not to settle for anything that I'm doing. Whether it be physically with my personal fitness, whether it be with work and how many clients I can take on, or whether it be with this podcast. Like I've dropped the ball, guys, on this. I really have, and it really bothers me. But I'm trying to get my feet going again on this, and trying to get the ball rolling, and get this back up to the speed it was going. We were growing at such a good rate, and I'm hoping we can continue to grow the way we were. You know, I've got to figure out a way to, you know, try to promote this as much as I can and do a better job, and that's part of it. You know, I can't settle for what I've been doing, and I have been. But not anymore. You know, I'm not a big, you know, I don't like blasting information out and stuff like that on my social medias and stuff like that. But if I want to see something change, I got to be able to do it. You know what I'm saying? So I'll post more on my Instagram, start posting more on TikTok and Twitter and all that. And hopefully this will grow. You know, I've also had a thought. I don't know how you guys would feel. Obviously, you guys don't really interact as much as I'd like you guys to, but it's fine. I was even having a crisis, you know, incident with this, like, identity crisis with this podcast. Like, am I happy with the name The Pep Talk? Does that really personify what we're doing and the goal we're trying to achieve? And I think it does. But I've also had some thoughts. You know, most of you guys know. If you don't know, I'll tell you again. I shoot these podcasts in one take. I don't edit. I don't cut and paste from different episodes or from like different moments. It's all one shot, one continuous shot. Every single episode you've either seen or listened to has been one take. And I thought about that, changing the name of that. The One Take Podcast or something like that. Or even like, you know, you guys don't know, but I'm always snacking. Like, I'm always snacking. So maybe even like Snack Time, the Snack Time podcast or something like that. I don't know, guys. I really don't. And, you know, it's just been part of why I haven't really posted either. I just didn't know what to say or do. I didn't know how to continue. So, I've thought about it a lot. We're going to continue this name for now. But, you know, until then, if anything does change internally within me, I'll change the name. But for now, I like where we're going. Because it does personify what we're doing. These talks are pep talks for you and for me. I need to hear this stuff too. And granted, I don't really listen to the episodes after I post them. But saying them and getting the information out is a pep talk for myself. It's what I need to be able to hear and verbalize. Getting my own thoughts out helps me grow, helps me develop. And I'm hoping to help you guys do the same. Like, I know a lot of people right now are happy to be back in the gym. You know, the world is opening up, guys. We are back to somewhat normal life. I know some states are completely open and I'm very jealous, but it's also, got to be careful. Still, it ain't gone. Coronavirus is still out there. It's very much still a real thing, but I'm excited for California to open up. I believe we open up June 15th, and everything will be obviously mandated based on whatever business you're going into, wherever you're at, whatever they choose to have masks or no masks. But life is coming back, and I know a lot of people are happy to be back at the gym. Some people are happy to be back to going to work. I know some people don't even want to go back to work. They're still collecting unemployment somehow, and it's ridiculous. But going back to the gym aspect of it, I know a lot of people listen to podcasts while they do cardio now. If I want to be able to reach those people, I got to be able to do more and not settle for what I've been doing, because I haven't been able to reach them before. So I got to be able to do it. I got to just start doing more. I really do. And if I'm unable to do that, then I got to figure out something else to do. I can't accept defeat. I can't accept mediocrity. And if this isn't something that I'm going to, see progress the way I want it to, I have to take a step back then too and assess, is this something I really want to do? Am I going to settle for, the way it's been going after all the effort I've been putting in? Am I going to just settle for that, or do I channel my energy into something else that I could be doing? Who knows? We will cross that bridge when we get there. But for now, I continuously need your guys' help. And your guys' help means the world to me. When you guys do, help promote these episodes and this whole channel and podcast and everything like that. And now that I'm back to posting and hopefully back to continuously putting out information and continuously putting out content, hopefully we do grow. And then getting the guests on here as soon as we can, hopefully their reach and their following is able to enjoy what I put out and enjoy the messages that are coming from this channel. But again, that bridge will get crossed when we get there. Until then, I'm going to try to do the best I can from where I'm at right now. So I hope you guys do the same. Don't settle for what you're doing at any point in time. Don't settle for what you're doing if you're unhappy. Be better, be great. Why not be great? If you don't feel like you're going to be great, what are you doing? Chase greatness, even though you may not see it in your future or see it for any reason. Why not go after it? Who's stopping you? Who's to say you can't be great? Who's to say you can't succeed? You can't achieve this, you can't achieve that. No one. No one's telling you any of that. You're the only one telling yourself that. And if you're willing to tell yourself that, you are accepting defeat. You are settling for mediocrity. You are settling for your own self telling yourself, I'm not going to get any better, so I'm going to stay where I'm at. Why would you do that to yourself? You're wasting time and wasting your life when you could be growing even just a little bit. Even one drop in the ocean is going to raise the level. Even if it's a small amount, it's going to raise it. So continuous efforts every single day, even the smallest ones, is going to make a difference over time. That's all it takes, It's not going to take a drastic change to see a drastic change. Sometimes an immediate, cold turkey change can completely throw everything off and may even be detrimental, because you put something into a situation that isn't completely ready for it and everything goes to shit. It just is what it is. It happens. I've seen it happen. I've had it happen to myself. I've tried to just incorporate something that was just completely unnecessary, or I wasn't prepared for it mentally, physically, or whatever it may have been, and it ruined the situation, or it may have thrown everything off, and I had to, gather everything up again, and I had to start back from square one, when I could have just started slow, little by little. I'm doing that now with running, I was at such a good clip and running at such a good pace before. I'm starting back. I can't just immediately just jump back into my 9 to 10, 12 miles every weekend or every week. It doesn't work like that. I got to run whenever I can to be able to get back to my continuous schedule. That's just how it goes. And for those who don't accept that or don't understand that, try it. Try to just do something that you haven't been used to and just do it 100% right off the bat. Tell me how that works out for you. If it works out for you, pound it. If it doesn't, I won't tell you I told you so. That's not who I am, but you can come back and think like, okay, he was right. But what did he say I have to do again? Information's here. Just try little bits here and there. I promise you, it'll make a huge difference over time. It doesn't have to happen overnight. Nothing, worth having comes easy. The whole cliche of that. So if you want something to be worth your while and to be quality, take your time. Simple as that. Simple as that. But for now, I think that's about it for today. Again, I'm not going to just jump into like an hour and a half podcast right off the bat. It's my first one back in like a month and a half. So, I think the information I put out from now on is hopefully going to continue to grow as well. And, I have to get more interactive on my social media about this podcast. I don't know if I want to even start if I should start like a Twitter for this podcast or an Instagram page. I don't know if that's necessary, but I'll have to think about it. Because I want to be more interactive. Like I want to have like more questions submitted and things like that, and topics submitted, and have more things to discuss. And I think once obviously I get guests on here, it's going to change the whole dynamic of it, because then the conversation is going to be way more dynamic in the sense. It's going to be way more involuntary, because I won't have a script, or I won't have a direction that I want to take an episode in. Because who knows, we could go off on tangents, we can have agreements, disagreements, we can have comedic, conversation. Who knows? But I'm only going to invite people onto the podcast who I definitely support, who I think have a good message, and who I think are going to be positive, people to portray on here, because that's what we're about. I don't want anybody to take out the positivity aspect of what we're trying to do here. Even if they have a bad story, bad part of their life that they want to talk about, I promise you it's going to come from a good place, and it's going to come from a place of growth, and that's what we're about. People have pep talks to, discuss as well. It doesn't have to always be about me, and maybe they could give me a pep talk. Who knows? But I only want people on here who I support and who I feel are going to support me and support you guys and support the message that they're trying to get out. Because if you're just trying to put information out, you're not going to get on here, because I don't have to put you on here. But if I know you have a good message, and I know you have a good voice, and I mean voice as in the metaphor, not physically. Because who likes to listen to my voice? I don't even like to listen to my voice. That's another reason why I don't watch these podcasts or listen to them over again. It's just gross. But the messages that people are trying to, give off and to put out, that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm trying to achieve with these. Because that's what we need, are the right message to help us grow and to help everybody see change and to see positive, rips in the current, And maybe they can help me. Who knows? Everyone's going to be a friend at some point. And I hope you guys enjoy every one of them, because if you enjoy my content, I'm sure you're going to enjoy theirs. Whatever it may be. And support, it's all about support. I want to support as many of my friends as I can. If I can help their business grow too by getting their information out there, or, help them grow in any way I can, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take that advantage 100%, and I won't ever look back. But until we get there, thank you guys again so much for listening, watching, taking the time out to hear me out, and to, still check in. These podcasts are important to me, and I hope they're important to you. So continue to spread these as much as you can. I'm going to try to blast them out as much as I can too. Share the message as much as you can. Don't ever settle. And if you are watching this on YouTube, subscribe if you can, like the video, comment if you want to as well. If you're listening to this on Spotify, follow me on Spotify, follow me on Apple Podcasts, and all that good stuff. Follow me on Instagram as well, TikTok, Twitter. It's all going to be in the description below. Until the next one, guys, I will see you then. Thank you again. I love you guys. Be safe. I'm out.